Greetings and salutations, your average rider here. Let's talk motorcycle oil change. I've now had a few requests from people to create a video on how I do an oil change on my motorcycle, and it finally came time to do one on the Bonneville. Well, that's not entirely true. I'm just getting around to it now, so sorry about that. Anyways, I believe that the oil change is one of those basic tasks that anybody who owns a motorcycle should do themselves. Same way I feel about checking your tension on your chain, putting air in your tires, doing chain lubrication, whatnot. The oil change ranks right up there. So let's get into it. So because I'm using the front wheel chock, I raised the rear wheel using a 2x6. You can see my setup here. Remove any skid plate if you have one attached. I have one on my Bonneville. I don't have access to the oil drain plug nor the filter without removing it. I'm just going to remove the plug here. Just by hand, the engine's a little bit warm. So that just happened. Whoops. Pulled the drain plug out of the oil. Yeah, as I mentioned, the oil will still be warm as well. So I gave it some time, cleaned my floor up, and now I'm removing the oil filter. Loosened it off by the nut, and now I can take the rest of it off by hand. I'm ready to put the oil in the bike. So I have this magnetic drain plug, a little magnet on the tip. That was the first time I used it. I didn't see any shavings or anything. I used the crush washer, a new crush washer. I snug it up with the wrench, and then I found the proper torque spec based off the manual and just tightened it up from there. Off camera, I already installed the oil filter. I'll talk about that in a second. I've added oil till the sight glass is level, and I ran the motorcycle for a little bit looking for any leaks or drops or anything. And after I ran it, I let the engine cool down, and I saw that the sight glass was down a little bit. So then here I am adding some more oil just to top it up. The Bonneville states sight glass to center. My Honda has a dipstick, but it's basically the same thing. You just have to fill it up till you're within your level. Well, now you can see why I'm your average rider and not the professional rider. Very embarrassed. I missed the oil pan with the oil as it streamed out. You can see that that's pretty easy to do. Just move the oil pan back a little bit as the stream slows down, and then it'll drop straight down. So I also ran into some technical difficulties. I ran out of memory on my camera while I was installing the oil filter. So I'm going to explain that really quickly. When you open your fresh oil filter, you're going to have a little plastic cap over it, keeping the rubber gasket fresh. So you break that off and you pour oil into the oil filter, fresh oil of course, and then it's going to settle down a little bit, and so you keep filling with fresh oil until it no longer settles down. You then take your finger, dip it in the oil, and rub it around that gasket, and then you can screw it up onto the motorcycle. I've only ever done hand tight on the oil filters because they can get very tight, and without a wrench, they're hard to get off. So I happen to buy the oil filters that have the little nut welded onto the bottom, so I can use just a standard wrench and take them off, but that's your choice. I will recommend though to have some blue shop rag. I like this, the Scott Shop original. I always have this on hand. You can see I got oil all over my floor, and this did a great job of cleaning that up. Also a big fan of this oil resistant floor. Do please dispose of your oil properly. That goes for the shop brags, your oil filter, your oil. I then put back into a container and take it to my landfill where they accept the oils. So please comment if you found this video helpful at all. Even if you didn't, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.